On to you, Taurus. So you actually have the star card, Two of Cups, and then you, Taurus, have the Three of Cups. You, Taurus, may want to have a good, healthy family that you can. It's a good, healthy family, someone that you could be in a relationship with, and maybe if you have little ones, or the two of you have little ones with each other, or if it's a blended family, as I call it, right? Shout outs to Zoe Williams. But a blended family, you want it to be peaceful. You don't want any kind of beef between you and the person that you basically you're in love with, or you're dating, right? At all. But the thing about it is that the Hermit and the Emperor, it seems to me as if you, Taurus, are starting to get kind of not, you're you're kind of questioning it. Like, you're questioning, is there, again, like, it's this idea of, is there such thing as love? Can you be in a relationship with individuals? Because it may just seem like, people have hangups that stop them ultimately from being in a good relationship. um yeah, love exists, you know what I'm saying. Again, I know it exists. I don't just have to think that. I know it exists. I've seen it before. I've seen it a few times. It's just that a lot of people, like I said before, as I'm gonna continue to say, they play games. I've seen love when my friend at the time took me to see his cousin, his first cousin, and his first cousin was in love, and they basically they was good. They were good. They were connected. They had an offspring. They had one, and they weren't in the best place, but they were getting it together. You know what I mean? And they both had a job, and was working, and like, you could tell that they loved each other because of the look in their eyes. Like, I was just looking at the both of them, and I was just like, I want to find love like that. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, love definitely exists. It's just that a lot of people commoditize it. See, the ego, right? People get scared, and people are entitled. And I've talked about this before. People are not as in control of themselves as much as they would like to make it seem. It's a front. Most people are really unhinged. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the ideology of, like, how relationships have been commoditized. So the Hermit and the Emperor right here represents you, Taurus, are thinking about just sitting down for a little while and not necessarily dating again. I mean, once again, is that something that you, Taurus, are really going to feel good with? You know, is that something that you, Taurus, are actually really going to feel good about doing? Or is it something that you, Taurus, ultimately will end up regretting later because you want to be in love? Um, it's the stupidity and the evidence that love does exist, because we have all these people out here trying to prove essentially that it doesn't, and look at how their lives turn out. It doesn't really turn out as celebratory as they try to make it seem. Like, running around here with a bunch of offspring, nobody else there to take care of you. You got to take care of all of it. You don't have anybody else to kind of help you decompress, to take some of the load off of your shoulders, some of the weight off of your shoulders. You see how a lot of people are overworked. And so things would be a lot easier if they had a connection with somebody who can do that, who can help them do that, right? Um, and that goes for both sides. That goes for whatever you're into, right? When you have to have a job and you have offspring, it definitely makes things more tedious, right? Like it definitely makes a handful out of things because once again, you legitimately have to be about something. You legitimately have to like be on point and laser focused. And so the Page of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and the King of Cups for you, Taurus, right here, ultimately, it speaks about how, because you're just thinking, you're overly thinking. You're thinking about like, okay, you bring a lot to the table. You Taurus do bring a lot. You bring a lot of love. You bring a lot of affection. That's something that a lot of people don't get, is affection. A lot of the times people too, they so caught up with commoditizing love, they don't even get the affection, you know. They don't even get when someone is like, "Hey, I care about you and that I love you and that I want you to remain with me." Like that type of stuff feels good. It feels good when you're saying it. It feels good to the person who's hearing it, right? Who's not necessarily saying it, but specifically who's hearing it. It feels good, right? It feels good to both people. I know it feels good for me. I know it felt good, but the point that I'm trying to make here with that is that it feels good. And so the thing is that um honestly, my perspective for you, Taurus, is that keep doing what you're doing. Um, obviously you can take breaks, but don't ever think, oh, there's no such thing as a that's not, what I'm saying? I don't advise you, Taurus, to do that because that's not true. The idea that, oh, there is no such thing as love and people use each other. No, they don't. They not from the aspect of like I'm using this particular person per se as like a toy, and they're gonna be my work mule and all that, and I'm using them as a toy. Yeah, that exists, but there's also a lot of it is pure intentions where the person wants to cooperate with what you want to do, and that's as far as it goes. The person likes you, person loves you, they want to cooperate with what you have going on, and so they make themselves available for you and you make yourself available for them. But they're not necessarily looking at you as a means of a come up, right? They're not particularly looking at you because you may look good or you may have money or something like this. Again, you have a lot of people whom are fake. They are fake. You feel me? I'm doing a deep dive into how fake people are myself, and again, learning why I have to be a lone wolf. And so the thing is that my wisdom to you, Taurus, is that y'all are exactly where you need to be because once again, maybe, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, you Taurus are very real. To show you my point about how like good you Taurus have it, right? And that you're in a space where you need to be and where you should be, right? Um, how many times do you see people post pictures? All the time, right? With some people specifically, you see people post pictures all the time. Do you really think that those people are legitimately content with who they are? Hey, I'm leaving the house, I'm getting in my car, I'm at such and such, I'm buying this, I'm did this, I got this, I have this going on, look at this. That's too flashy. That's too much flashing. That's too much showboating. That's too much, you know what I'm saying? A person being on the scene and looking to get clout for it to actually be on point. You know why? Because when you Taurus are having fun, you forget to even take your phone out sometimes. There'll be times where I'll go to a place and me and my family will go to a place, or I'll go to a place by myself or with my dog or whatever. And then it's like I'm just having so much fun. I don't even remember to take my phone out. I remember that after I leave there, after I get home. And I'm like, I could have turned this into a cool picture. I'm like, whatever, forget about it. Because I'm so busy living my life. And so what I'm trying to say here for you, Taurus, is that y'all are right where it is that you need to be. See, this is what I'm trying to say. The world will have you thinking, don't let the world get you out of your element and have you, Taurus, now start looking at the world the incorrect way. Now you, Taurus, start thinking to yourselves, oh, this doesn't exist. No, it does. Listen, I'm telling y'all, the real thing exists. You just got a lot of goofies out here. You got a lot of people faking the funk. How many times? All right, let's go deeper. How many times have you, Taurus, been in a situation where you'll hang out with somebody and they'll act like they cool at first, and then they start to be you. They start to be you. They start to try to be you, mimic you. They try to take whom you are and put it in a bottle and package it and try to like become you, right? They look at you, they observe you, they aestheticize it, but they don't respect it. To you, the way that they think it looks goofy on you, or the way that they try to make it seem specifically, it looks goofy on you, but on them it makes them look cool. But they took what you have that made you, Taurus, special about them. That's how fake people are. And so you, Taurus, should not be living feeling like, oh, does love exist? Look at the people that you're surrounded by. You're a real individual surrounded by a bunch of fake individuals. They faking it. They're posturing like they are about that life. They're making it. Oh, I thought it was raining. They're making it seem like they are about their life. They're posturing like they're about that life. They're getting all the way up to the point where they have to prove it to you, Taurus, that they are about that life. They are about love. What is it that you see? You see that most people aren't really ready to take the leap. They scared as a mug. Once love really shows up, what do? They chicken squat up. They can't deal with it now. So the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles here represents how you should feel proud. You, Taurus, should be as proud as a peacock, honestly. Why? Because you're a real one surrounded by fake ones. People who only really basically from the past getting what they got out of you by really getting it to a point where they feel like it seems believable enough. Once you, Taurus, started pulling that card and going, no, let's go all the way. Now it's like, there is no other way. There is no all the way. This is up to the point of where I would go to. Now you start to see, oh, okay, there is no real point past this thing. They just posturing. They're just making it seem like there's something else, but there is nothing else in actuality. So that's the thing that you, Taurus, have to figure out. And some of you, Taurus, are probably thinking to yourself, well, what does this have to do with anything? It has everything to do with it, because what I'm trying to show you, Taurus, right, is you have to change your perspective. You have to understand that people they are afraid of you. They are afraid of you because you coming in with love. You're not afraid of other people. They're afraid of you because most people want to be on the internet and stunt and posture and act like they are something, but it's really a script. It's not real. The minute you start really finding out more, I thought an individual was real a few days ago, or about a few weeks ago. I'm finding out so much about this person, about how fake they are, how much time they spend on social media. They can't go a week without posting pictures, being on TikTok, being on Instagram. They're caught up with it. How they take my words, calling me goofy and all that stuff. That's goofy, right? Because before you talked about how you didn't want other people to use your own to use your terminology, and then you basically turn around and used my terminology, right? You see me out here with these gold chains or whatever, you now want to start making gold chains. But it's not real gold. It's gold tinted, but it's not even real gold. So when you really look at it, how they take your swag, they study you, they staticize it, but then they don't want to give credit to you. They want to give low key credit to you, but they don't want to be like, yeah, I actually got it from da 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 da. Right? I actually got it from the Taurus. I actually learned this. I'm in a good relationship with the Taurus. The Taurus is the ones that really put me on to certain things. You have people who can't stand the fact that you Taurus could be in a whole relationship with them, and you're the one putting them on. They can't stand it. I've talked about this before, that jealousy and envy crosses all lines. You think just because a person who is having romantic fun with you can't be jealous of you. That is not the case. Let's clarify the Queen of Pentacles. A person who is having romantic fun with you can indeed be jealous of you. And they could be giving it up to you and still be jealous of you and envious. Want to move you up on out of the picture. So that's the reason why you Taurus are having these experiences that you're going through, right? The world is essentially kind of like going through its time where it's fixing things. Things needs to actually be figured out and fixed. All the fake people is being essentially seen and being left alone up to their own devices because they can't move into the next shift. And so the things that you have, the Tower, Wheel of Fortune, Four of Swords. I'll hold up the cards, Two of Swords, and then you have the Star card to clarify the Queen of Pentacles. Again, you still not seeing it. Because if you saw it, you wouldn't get discouraged. You would see it for what it is. You would adapt with it. You would look at it and go, this is exactly the reason why I know that there's a such thing as real love. Because a lot of people out here goofy. And a lot of people, if something is fake, by definition, something has to be real. There are two halves of an equation. If one thing is fake, another thing has to be real. So if you have people faking it out here, by definition, it means you have people who are being authentic out here. So the Tower card, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Four of Swords here represents, for the Tower card being Scorpio. Scorpio is your opposite zodiac sign of Taurus. Again, this just speaks volumes about how the thing is that once again, you're going through a time where your confidence is kind of being called into question by yourself because of the experiences that you're getting, not even realizing that the way that sometimes things are versus how it's presented is they are drastically different. This is why I don't want you Taurus to get discouraged and start thinking, oh, what about this? No, that's not how things are, right? It's just how things manifest themselves, but it's not how things are, though. The reality of the situation versus how people interact with you are two different things. And so the Two of Swords and the Star card, that's my cat down there, represents how a lot of you Taurus now, you just have to learn to become more comfortable with it is all. So that's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. We're at 28,200 and let me see, 30 something. If you want to come through and get a personal reading from me, the link to that is in the comment section below. Call the Linktree link.